30 minutes past 12 and live from the News First studios here in Colombo. I'm Hassan Shazuli and welcome. This is lunchtime news on News First, where the people come first. Let's start off with a look at your headlines this afternoon.
3 people dead in a fire over personal dispute. 1 person faints at a queue for gas in Dehiwala. Scuffles break out at queues. 6-hour power cuts to be imposed today. Signs of a national government.
ගරු මහින්දානන්ද අලුත්ගමගේ මැතිතුමා බොහොම එලිපිටම කිව්වා ඔය සර්වපාක්ෂික ක්‍රියාදාමයේ පිටුපස තියෙන කුමන්ත්‍රණය එතුමම කිව්වා බොහොම ස්තුතියි.
Controversy over hotel project in Nuwarwava.
මේ මාධ්‍යත් එක්ක යමුකෝ ඥානගේ හෝටලේ බලන්න යමුකෝ.
News First with the people.
We start off with some tragic news we received this morning. Kadagostota is a suburban city in the Kandy district. Its residents woke up to some tragic news this morning after 3 people died in a fire. Sri Lanka police suspect that the house may have been set on fire due to a personal dispute. Police officer told News First that investigations are taking place on several fronts. This includes the recovery of the charred body of an outsider and several other suspicious sites. Police suspect that the outsider had set fire to the house early this morning, killing himself, another man in the house and that man's daughter. 71-year-old Iswari Devan, 30-year-old Chandravadani and her partner are suspected to have died in the fire. 66-year-old Ranivel Raju, the mother of the dead woman, was seriously injured and rushed to the Kandy General Hospital for treatment. She had given a statement to the police stating that her daughter's partner has set fire to the house. Right now, onto a story that has been developing over the last few days. Sri Lankan authorities have given repeated assurances that the fuel crisis would be resolved in the country. But there appears to be no end to the number of queues witnessed across filling stations in Sri Lanka. Many have been in line since dawn at several areas to purchase fuel.
2 filling stations in Maradana, Colombo were forced to close down on Thursday morning as both had run out of fuel. However, petrol and diesel was available at the filling station located in Flower Road, Colombo 7. Over in Anuradhapura, hundreds were waiting in line since early morning at filling stations for fuel. None of the filling stations in the Badula town had diesel, despite assurances from authorities. News First correspondents said that petrol was only available at a filling station in the town centre. Over in the south, only 1 filling station was open since this morning in the Mathura town. This morning, a fuel tanker carrying a shipment of 35,000 metric tons of 92-octane petrol procured under the Indian credit line reached Sri Lankan shores.
Some tragic scenes in queues there. Those pictures that you saw a few minutes ago was of a man who had fainted while standing in queue to purchase gas cylinders in Dehiwala. Now, people are continuing to stand in queues as authorities haven't resolved the gas shortage in the market yet.
People in Kottagala protested this morning by blocking the Hatton-Nuwara road against a decision made by the Kottagala gas distributor to refrain from selling gas and close down the premises. A similar situation was witnessed in Kawaba, Ampalangoda this morning as a group protested by obstructing the access road to a gas distribution centre. The group demanded that the lorry with gas cylinders bound to Galle be stopped and they be given priority. People were seen in line since this morning to purchase gas in the Badulla town. Heated verbal exchanges were witnessed when gas was sold to some people who did not come in line.
When can we see an end to the queues at gas dealership stores? Gas Lanka says it would take at least another week for the shortage to be resolved and to end the queues at gas dealership stores. Gas said 1 million domestic gas cylinders will be released to the market in the next 10 days. Gas chairman Tishara Jasingh has said another ship carrying 3,600 metric tons of gas is to reach Sri Lanka today. He said the unloading process of the shipment that reached the country yesterday has concluded. Gas said around 100,000 domestic gas cylinders are being distributed to the market daily.
Power cuts of more than 6 hours will be imposed today. Groups A to L will experience a 3-hour and 20-minute power cut between 8 a.m. and 6 p.m. and a 1-hour and 40-minute power cut between 6 p.m. and 11 p.m. Groups P to W will experience a 4-hour and 30-minute power cut between 8:30 a.m. and 5:30 p.m. and a 1-hour and 50-minute power cut between 5:30 p.m. and 11 p.m. A people's protest was staged in Ingiriya last night against a crisis that had plunged the country. Area residents and the business community of Ingiriya engaged in the protest.
The government has lost all its foreign reserves. Today there is no fuel, fertilizer, gas or power. If this government has no vision and no solution, they should seek a solution from someone who has it. We won't stop this. We will continue this demonstration. It's either the government or the people.
ඉසෙල්ල 3000න් කරපු එක දැන් ගණන් හදලා බැලුවම 23000ක් අත් ඕන. කරන්නද ජීවත් වෙනවා ඉතින් කරන්න දෙයක් නැතුවට.
I can responsibly say that Finance Minister Basil Rajapaksa did not sign any agreement in India in addition to the trade agreement.
ඉන්දියාවට ගිහිල්ලා ඉන්දියාවෙන් ණය වැඩසටහනකට බැඳි.
They said that the credit line obtained from India does not include any condition. That is a massive lie. A credit line of $1 billion was obtained. I am not saying that it's wrong to have deals with India, but how will they repay the debt? They must repay them within 2 to 3 years. The agreement also says that 75% of our imports must be from India. The finance minister is misleading the people.
කොන්දේසි කිසිවක් නැහැ කියලා ජනතාව රවටන.
දැන් ගිය 2005 මැතිවරණෙත් ඔක්කොම ගැහුවේ බැසිල් මැතිතුමාට. හැබැයි ඒක ප්‍රතිඵලය උනේ මොකද?
Even during the 2015 election, everyone blamed Minister Basil Rajapaksa. What were the consequences of that? We ended up losing power. Even today, everyone is blaming him. Why are they doing that? They are afraid that he will resolve these issues.
මොකද එතුමා මේක ගොඩදායි කියන එක හැමෝගෙම විශ්වාසයක් තියෙනවා.
This government is exercising democracy at its best. They did not take any action even when the president's house was about to be attacked. As a government that is exercising democracy, the government does not act arbitrarily.
News First with the people.
Now, houses in Wellavatta have become uninhabitable due to the blockage of sewage pipes in Colombo.
This problem has arisen in the houses on Fernando Mawata and Weaver's Place in Vellavatta. Despite the significant flow of material and stench for a considerable period of time, the Colombo Municipal Council has not yet taken any action to clean these sewage pipes.
The farmers' associations are raising concerns over a project that is taking place at the cost of destruction to the Nuwara River.
The issues arising due to the fertilizer shortage and the destruction of the Nuwara River were brought up by farmers at a meeting with Anuradhapura District Secretary yesterday.
ඉදිරියේදී මේ සම්බන්ධයෙන් ප්‍රතිපත්තිමය වෙනසක් වෙයිද කියන එක අපේ හඳුනන අපි බලමු.
We know that they are filling the Nuwara River with sand. Shehan Singh is carrying on the project there, and so is SM Chandrasena. The president's relatives are also carrying on projects. Poor people are unable to do anything. Otherwise, they will also do the same. I am requesting you to stop this. Let's go with the media to visit the hotel. Let's visit the land on which Minister Chandrasena's project is being carried out. The district secretary isn't responsible for this. I am not palming this off to the divisional secretary, but under the amendments to the land acquisition law, those in charge of managing the reserve have the power to stop any illegal activity. I discussed this with the Director General. The necessary steps have been taken over this. It's okay to serve the people while obtaining salaries of their money, but the river is being destroyed gradually. Shouldn't state officials bear responsibility for this more than politicians? Anyone will have to admit that this wasn't done. Otherwise, we wouldn't be speaking about this. Therefore, it would be better if you can stop passing the buck. Although the district secretary, the divisional secretary or the director are not responsible for this, we have to admit that the failure of some state officials who served in the past has resulted in this. Yes, exactly. But what we are seeing is that everyone is passing the blame onto each other. Who will develop the country then? Who will serve justice over this?
Minister of Lands SM Chandrasena says that he is not connected to the construction of the hotel, although he is aware of the project. State Minister Shehan Singh also denied any connection to the project.
Now back in Parliament, opposition lawmakers have criticised the government today. They say that Sri Lanka's food security is in danger.
A crisis arose due to the importation of organic fertilizer from China and the importation of nano fertilizer from India. Under whose orders and which committee's recommendations was this done? Nobody knows. When shifting to green agriculture, farmers should be taken into account. The government allowed selected companies to supply fertilizer. Tender issues and delays were caused by officials as a result of not having labs to test the quality of the fertilizer. These were some of the major problems that arose. Various allegations were made regarding fraudulent moves that had taken place purposely.
An
answer to this question should be given to me by my ministry. There is no problem with regard to food security. We have allowed the importation of chemical fertilizer for vegetable cultivation. We have even allowed the importation of pesticides and weedicides. These are available in the market even during this season. Therefore, I am confident that there will be no problem with regard to food security. If you have any proof about the fraudulent action that had taken place, please show it to me and we will immediately inquire into this. Regardless of what you say, there is a major problem regarding food security in our country. Small groups from Mana and Jaffna have started fleeing to India, saying that they can't live in this country anymore. Some say the problems will aggravate in future. The youth are in queues to leave the country. We can't say there is food security. What is the solution you are providing? What is the plan you are implementing? I admit that the cost of goods is high. There is no argument in that. Opposition leader, we admit that it's hard for the people. We don't need to make food security a problem. We have enough paddy and vegetables. The term food security doesn't only refer to the supply of food. It means food supply must be made available to the people to be purchased at reasonable prices. Look at the cost of a kilo of nard rice, gas cylinders and milk powder.
gas මිල ඔබතුමා පොඩ්ඩක් බලන්න කිරිපිටි මිල
විපක්ෂ නායකතුමා මට කියන්න දෙන කෘෂිකර්ම ඇමතිවරයා හැටියට මට තියෙන වගකීම තමයි
As the agriculture minister, my responsibility is to ensure that products can be produced locally, is available in the market. I can ensure that there is no shortage in rice or vegetables. The government is working on a plan regarding its prices in line with the New Year festival. The Paddy Marketing Board has purchased paddy from farmers. We won't allow rice mill owners to sell rice at the rate at which they want. We will implement a plan to allow rice to be sold to the people at reasonable prices. We know that there is a dollar crisis in the country. The French president has even agreed to provide coupons for his citizens. This is a global economic crisis and not something that prevails only in our country. Dr. Harsha De Silva has also agreed to work with us in this.
මේක නිකන් මේ ලිං වලේ වගේ අපේ රටේ විතර ප්‍රශ්නයක් නෙමෙයි. ඒ නිසා අපි දැන් මේ අපේ හර්ෂ ද සිල්වා මැතිතුමාත් අපේ පැත්තට එන්න ලෑස්ති වෙලා ඉන්නේ. මේ මට ඇවිල්ලා වැඩ කරන්න උදව් කරන්න. මේ ඔයා ඉන්න කුරුණෑගලටලා.
ඔව් හර්ෂ මන්ත්‍රීතුමා.
නෑ නෑ එතුමා හර්ෂ නෙමෙයි මං කිව්වේ.
නෑ නෑ මගේ නම
ගරු
කතානායක නියෝජක කතානායක.
It's not just me. Our entire party will be seated on the other side.
බලන්නකෝ තියෙන සතුට. ඔයාලා බලාගෙන ඉන්නේ මේ පැත්තට එන්න තමයි.
Look at the happiness they have. They expect that they can sit on this side. Those are only dreams. Let's see how many people will leave opposition leader Sajid Premadasa and join Ranil Wickremesinghe. I bet that this will happen in 2 weeks. Do you want me to tell the names?
නන්ටික අහගන්න ඕනද? නන්ටික.
මම ඉතාමත්ම සතුටු වෙනවා ගරු මහින්දානන්ද අලුත්ගමගේ මැතිතුමා.
I am happy that Mahindananda Alutgamage has openly highlighted the ulterior motive of the all-party convention. Thank you for that. I wish to say that the people will make the right decision at the right time. They will give us the responsibility to steer the country out of this crisis.
ඉදිරියට ගෙන යන්නට අපිට ඒ වගකීම බාර දෙන්න.
Still in Parliament, the value-added tax amendment bill was debated in Parliament this morning. Let's listen to some of the excerpts from the debate.
At present, Sri Lanka's tax exemption is approximately 250,000 rupees per month. In addition, there are certain privileges awarded, where 100,000 rupees is added to the taxation limit. That means a person who doesn't earn 350,000 rupees doesn't have to pay that tax. In other words, the taxation limit is on those who generate a revenue of over 4.2 million rupees. Sadly, this situation has contributed to a negative impact on the government's tax revenue. No matter who says it, be the IMF or someone else, the position of the country is such that we cannot refrain from doing it. We have repeatedly requested for the IMF report, and this report is yet to be furnished in Parliament. We were made aware of the existence of a draft, and that too has not been tabled. That is also announced at the President's House. This must be disclosed to Parliament. Even when we speak about the bill in question, the Finance Minister is not present. The State Minister is also not present. We are speaking of taxation and finances, and these people using the powers of the President to disregard the House. The people will not accept this. The Finance Minister on the 3rd of January said that the International Monetary Fund has made some proposals and that they are confidential. Therefore, he will not reveal them. The Finance Minister can't say that. It needs to be disclosed to the Parliament. It is clear that the VAT has been increased subject to the conditions of the IMF. The 15% VAT is increased to 18% according to the IMF's conditions. But the government says it will not surrender to any condition. These are all lies. Ajit Niwad Cabral boasted to say that they won't go to the IMF because Sri Lanka is not bankrupt and the economy is on a positive side with positive reserves. He is no longer here to even respond to Parliament. In the coming days, the people too will have to bear the VAT burden.
Now, during this debate, Samagi Janabalawege lawmaker Dr. Harsha De Silva raised concerns over the absence of the Minister and the State Minister of Finance when the proposal to increase the value-added tax from 15 to 18% was being debated in Parliament. The MP said that before the amendments to the Value-Added Tax Act was to be debated in the House, the Committee on Public Finance had informed the Monetary Board of the Central Bank to make representations. However, they too had failed to attend the meeting. The MP said that such conduct is a disrespect to Parliament in its entirety.
Let me start by saying that something tragic is taking place for the people of Sri Lanka. Today, the VAT is being increased from 15% to 18%. That is the VAT imposed on banks or the financial VAT. That was approved by the Committee on Public Finance and moved to the House. The Committee on Public Finance is the highest democratic body that deals with public finance in the country. MP Anurayapa is the chairperson of the Committee on Public Finance. At a time when there is a serious issue in the country, the chairman of the Committee on Public Finance informed Central Bank Governor Niwad Kabwal and the Mantri Board to be present. Those members are Mrs. Rani Jayamaha, Samantha Kumarasinghe and Sanjeeva Jayawardena PC. In addition, it comprises Ajit Niwad Kabwal and Finance Secretary Artigala. They were told to be present on Monday. They said it was not possible and requested for Friday. I was supposed to give a response speech, but since this matter was important, a decision had to be made. Yet they failed to turn up. At 10:45 a.m., a fax was sent notifying that they will not be present. Who is supreme here? In the Constitution, it states that the Parliament is supreme when it comes to public finance. Therefore, there is no point in meeting at various places because the issues can only be resolved in the Parliament. That is what is stated in the Constitution. The President has no power to formulate laws. It is only Parliament that can increase or reduce taxes in the country. The failure of Niwad Kabwal and his group to be present at the Committee on Public Finance is a blatant disregard of parliamentary traditions. No one has a right to do that. If that is the case, why do we need a parliament? The finance minister is not here. There are no responses to the questions. And for 3 months, he was not present. The CBSL governor is also not here. It is sad to note that the state bank is on default. This needs to be looked into.
You're up to date with the latest stories here on News First. Thanks for stopping by. I've been Hassan Shazali. We'll join you again at 1:55 with more latest stories. Bye for now.